Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Charlie Pankey again. Here's Rick Magazine. We are excited to be here today again, bringing part of our podcast. I've got a guest with me today that you're going to recognize from one of our stories. I've asked my good friend and hiking buddy Tom Trelenberg to join us for the show this week because this being our 10th anniversary, thought it'd be fun to share some story from our last 10 years. And Tom has been on the trail with me for probably a good 7 of the 10 years, hiking
Following you
around
on the trail.
following me on the trail. That's right. So, Tom, welcome. Thanks for joining me, buddy. How's it going today?
Oh, it's going great. It's nice to have warm weather here. Well,
Oh, hi.
not this afternoon. It's faking us out this afternoon, but like the last couple days, so it's kind of nice to not be all bundled up, and always good to come and see you.
I appreciate that very much. So, Tom and I will do a little dinner here a little bit later on. It's kind of our weekly tradition before hiking. But, Tom, I wanted to have you on. It's our 10th anniversary here at Rick Magazine, and you know that as well as anyone. And we have some great stories, and I've taken you all over the Sierra and tortured you through some hikes and things. So I thought it'd just be fun for people to learn a little bit more about us. They hear about our hikes all the time, get some of your feedback on the hike. So let me start off by asking you a couple questions about some of your favorite memories of hikes with Charlie, if you will. If you want to, I don't know if you can think real quick and get one or two of your favorite hikes I've taken you on.
Well, always comes to mind that first trip to Snow Lake.
That's a good spot.
Um, and I've lost you here. Maybe if I say no.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, HP Smart wanted to know if I wanted to make changes to the
Yeah, just
device, and
say
it
no.
took over the screen, and it's like,
Sorry.
no. So, anyway, yeah, Snow Lake, well, I mean, both times we've gone, but that first time was when I really remembered it, and I don't know, it was just some place that I could stay, all the time. I guess both times that we've done that, because there was that, and then there was the, potential bear,
Yeah.
afterwards, and then, oh gosh, I forget the lake that comes after, but then there's that horrendous hike, up
Azure.
and out. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just like,
Azure like in the hike out. Yeah.
so that's a memory, and of course Lundy, and
Lundy
I
Canyon.
don't know, what is that going on 8 years now with our wager that, is has never been, it's never been done, and now that it's 8 years hence, and
Probably
physical
not going to happen.
capabilities are dropping, you are more and more going to be in the winner's circle for that wager.
Yes,
um
and Monocone opened this week, so we're game for a free cheeseburger. So,
oh,
yeah, just so you know, we're gonna probably tell some inside stories today and need some definition. So, Lundy Canyon is one of Tom and I's favorite hikes. We love going down to Lundy Canyon. We've been there a couple times. We snowshoed in there once. But our very first visit back all the way to the waterfall on the bottom side, um, Tom. I can't remember if you made a ridiculous claim that we could get up the mountain in 30 minutes, or if I said that,
it was
and
2 hours. 2
2 hours.
hours. It was not ridiculous half an hour.
And I refuted that, saying no way, especially the shape we are. So we bet a cheeseburger. We've never gone back to test that theory out, and
Well,
it
no,
washed out.
you're
It washed
delaying.
out in 18 with the flood, so that trail may not even be there anymore.
Well, you're just delaying, because as we get older and
Yeah.
less fit, it's just more than likely that, yeah, we'll take more than 2 hours.
I agree. I agree. I was actually looking at the 20 Lakes Basin hike today in photos, doing some rehashing, getting ready for the July issue, and that picture looking down in Lundy Canyon where that snow cave was at that you didn't get to go down and spend time in because we had a guest that had to go, and that guest has not been on our hikes anymore. But um, that when I look down, I go, okay, it doesn't look so bad from up top. So I think we could hike that probably faster. You're probably
Well,
right
favorite
on
too. You
that.
you made it up with another snow cave up on 108.
That's right. We could actually climb down that one last year. That was a lot of fun. So, but and Snow Lake, if you don't know where Snow Lake's at, just for the listeners, that's Desolation Wilderness. It's one of the off-trail experiences, if you will, in Desolation. Uh, just um, just there off of Emerald Bay. You kind of got a little bit of trail down to the first waterfall, and then it's off trail through the trees. And we have seen. Well, I saw a bear last year, a huge bear. And the first time we had come off Snow Lake going to a zoo, and the bear kind of gave us a really loud warning not to come in the woods. So we went around. So it was quite a moment for us. And maybe it's the same bear. It'd be hard to believe it's the same bear. That was at least 4 or 5 years apart. But
Yeah, and I
it
don't
was
know.
a big bear.
There's so many favorite things. I mean, there's the mosquitoes from last year. There was the toe breaking from the year before that. There's I don't know. It all
We've
just
had some adventures.
it all mushes into this whole great. You remember details of which and where so many different so much better than I do.
Yeah,
Um,
I think one of my favorite hikes I've ever taken you on from just an experience was actually the Highland Trail with your boys. Is
mhm.
that when we went through the Highland Trail in the Carson Iceberg Wilderness, that one's always stood out for me, mostly because you were with your kids and it was a challenging day. You had to save yourself with snowpack water.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay, I
we,
was thinking
we
Highland Lakes. You mean the high trail?
the high trail, yeah, the high trail. Did I say Highland
Okay,
Trail?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the high trail.
Oh, yeah. No, that was great.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was a fun experience to go up there, and then I remember
Yeah,
getting on the backside. We hiked that ridge all day, and then you sat by that tree with your boys, and then had that big old view over the wilderness there before we went down into the river valley.
yeah. No, that
And I just
was
remember that
beautiful.
being a really special day, even though we went much harder, longer than we wanted to. And by the time we saw the bear later down on the river there, that came up right behind your son, it was like we were done and ready to go home. It was a great day, but exhausting day. I think it was wasn't that like a 14-mile round trip? I think that day, and we
Oh, I
just planned
forgot.
to
It
go up
was
the mountain.
much longer than we planned, and that was
Yeah,
and that was the great. That was where God was so good because the boys had grown some, and I wasn't used to how much water they would drink, so I didn't bring any. So that was so neat to okay, we're running out, and then there was this tiny, I don't know, like 4 by 4 foot pack of snow, and that was like that was like the largest we saw of maybe three total on the trip, and it was enough to go and pack it into the water bottle, and kind of melt it, and that kind of got us through. So
yeah.
yeah, no, that was
Survival trips 101. So
yeah.
we've had some fun trips. Tom and I have he's experienced all of my worst hikes because he's done so many with his
And the
and
best.
all the
Well,
time
maybe
and
not.
the best, yeah. But in all the ones that I didn't bring the supplies, right? So we did a hike
Oh,
up to Marlette Lake we took water that time. We got to the lake, but we didn't take flashlights and stayed too late and had to come back down the mountain in the dark. And so I had this little survival beeper light on my bag, and Tom had this little wind up toy, flashlight thing. And so we could get just enough light to see our feet for about 30 seconds at a time. Every time we got down the mountain, the coyotes were howling around us. It was quite an evening. But
oh, and
we've
I
had
think I've
some.
told you, it was like a little, I don't know, one of those free gift light, wind up light things,
Mhm.
that you get if you support someone. Mom, had done that, and she got this light, and they threw it in, and it was like, yeah. So my younger son was, whipping that when we needed light, and it was just like 2 minutes from the car, the little plastic gears inside stripped and it
It
wouldn't work.
did.
And it was
I
just
remember
like
that.
it worked for just the amount of time that we needed.
It
So,
did. It
so
did.
that was something.
I thought it'd be fun actually to share our first story today with our readers and our first hike. And Tom and I go to the same church, and we're in children's ministry together. We work with fourth and fifth graders, and we love working with kids. And Tom and I knew each other for a little while, but we weren't friends. And it was kind of weird, a weird time in my life where we weren't quite friends, and I didn't really understand Tom all that much. He's got a
I'm
physicist
odd.
mind, yeah, yeah. And so I had put together a hike for our church to Margaret Lake out on Highway 88, and I invited everybody to meet me at the parking lot because I just I'll just do that. 'Cause I'm gonna hike whether people show up or not. And I show up at the parking lot and there's no one there, and no one comes. And I said no problem. I just threw my bag on and we're gonna go for a hike today. That's what I do, right? And so I walk out to Margaret Lake, which is only like 2.5 mile hike. It's a pretty short hike. And I there's somebody in the lake. I'm not paying attention to it. There's a camper on the one side, and so I crawl up on this rock and I start to shoot a video to tell the readers about Margaret Lake. And out of the bushes, I hear Charlie. And I go, okay, who knows me out here? And it was Tom, who had gone ahead of me, thinking he was late, and so he was actually had walked ahead of us. And so we dinked around the rest of the day there. I about choked to death on the way back on the water, if you remember, right on the trail. And we've been hiking ever since, right? That's probably almost a little over 7 years ago now, before COVID. And that was our first hike together, first experience. And I've always appreciated you, Tom, because people ask me all the time, "Hey, you want to go hiking?" I go, "Yeah, let's go hiking." But I don't ever get invited most of the time. Mostly I walk too fast for people, I guess. But you're always available. Like, "Hey, Tom, I'm going Saturday." Okay, I don't even. Sometimes I don't even have to call you until like Saturday morning. "Hey, I'm going on a hike in an hour. You want to go?" And Tom will pull himself out of bed and put some boots on, and he's good for a day out in the wilderness, which is
Yeah,
great.
well,
So.
I don't know. The availability has possibly not been some of the best events in life, but it has worked out favorably in that way. So
It has
so
indeed. So let me ask. Let's dive a little deeper into some of your favorites. Okay, so let's think. We always have a great debate. Let's go ahead and share the people our debate on our
oh
favorite
no,
stops after
I
our
always
hikes.
lose.
Okay, because you'll be happy to know that both Monocone and Walker Burger open this week.
Ooh.
Okay, so we go south a lot, Tom and I, because one of the things that we love to do afterwards is I love a cheeseburger, and Tom loves a milkshake, and a specific type of milkshake. So, Tom, why don't you share some of your favorite roadside stops, if you will, after a hike with us? So.
Well, okay, of course, as you mentioned, monochrome, that's always been, since I was a kid, so that's always great. But, yeah, and like I've told you before, I think they have the best burger, and I don't, I say that, and it's a burger place, and I always get my whole, chicken pineapple, sandwich that they have that I
Exactly.
love. And so I have to admit, yeah, monocone, best, uh, my favorite burgers. But Walker Burger, oh, you just cannot beat their raspberry, blackberry, real fruit, real ice cream milkshake. That is so good. So it's always good to hear that Walker Burger's open. And so there's
Yeah, very
there's
good.
and when we go hiking, when we go down south, there's this kind of back way that avoids 395 for a lot of the distance between close to the Nevada border and Bridgeport that Charlie likes to take, and
Mhm.
there and back, because there's less traffic, less people hauling mile long trailers because they've got to take it all with them into the
I do like
wilderness.
that trip.
um but it's always like, well, can we stop at Walker Burger, which requires him to go onto this part of the road that that he doesn't like so much, and he has always obliged. And so oftentimes we will get our meal at at Monocone, or the barn, which is another favorite of ours
Yeah, love Mars.
in Bridgeport. They have a lot of good stuff there. What do we have this last time? Some bacon
I had a way
something.
too burger
Oh,
burger. That's all I know it was. So
I
it
had
was
a
huge.
chicken with bacon thing, and you had like a burger with double bacon.
It
And
was huge.
but yeah, so both of them. But it always is good to top it off with a milkshake from Walker Burger. So
And just so you
so
know,
yeah.
they're not sponsoring us today by any means. I'm just sharing some of our stories, some of our favorite things, out there. Is that these guys aren't sponsoring; they just happen to be our roadside favorites. I stop, and Tom and I stop when we go out. We pretty much find whatever burger milkshake stand we can find along the way. It's always disappointing if they're closed or if there's an hour wait or
Well,
whatever it is. Because
that all depends on if it's disappointing. Because going south is wonderful. Going north has not been so. Yeah, I don't think
now, come on, we
I
found that place in Gray Eagle. Now, no, that was me and the kids. You weren't with me, huh? So I have two up north
no.
that
All
you
I
need to try
have
out.
from up there is the super squeeze burger
Oh yeah,
that
not good.
was that was terribly unhappy.
Unhappy. Yes,
Sierra
it
Rec
was.
does not endorse super
Oh yeah, no,
squeeze.
yeah, I thought that. Yeah, okay, scratch that from the records. But uh,
Sierra Rec's guest does not.
so one of the things that Tom indulges with me on, but does not probably share my affinity for as much as is trips to Yosemite. I go to Yosemite as much as possible. I have a hard time driving past Yosemite at 395 and just going up Tioga Pass. Um, but I want to ask some Yosemite questions, Tom, because I've taken you quite a bit, and I think I know some of your favorite spots in Yosemite, but I'm not positive. So I wanted to ask you if you could think of all the Yosemite trips I have forced you to go on, if there's a spot in Yosemite that was like, that was a really cool place.
Oh yeah, no. First, the twisting of the arm and the bruises that remained after you forced me to. Yeah, it's always like I don't hate Yosemite. It's just there are so many beautiful places. I
The
I
Sierra does
often
have a lot
don't
of
want.
beautiful
I
places.
often it's just like yeah. I'm not one that likes a lot of people around. So
Hmm.
people often. Well, look, I mean, of course, there was the Young's Lake trip. Where you took a bunch of us. That was. It was improperly packed, improper things on my backpack. Death trip for me getting there. Um, that was fixed halfway, but it had already taken its toll on my
Oh yeah,
stamina. So it was just a death trip getting there. But man, once we got there, and then kind of the free day hiking around, those were just three beautiful lakes.
beautiful lakes. Yeah, Young Lakes is by far, the top of my list of, top 10 places in the world. Beyond, Upper Youngs Lake, I would definitely just have my kids leave my remains there. So
And then other favorite was, and it doesn't seem like we've gone as much lately. I think maybe it's been too cold, like when we've
yeah.
gone. But there was always the oh shoot, what was the okay? We're leaving, we're going home, but now we're taking a swim lake.
Oh, Tenaya,
Tenaya, yeah. So
Tenaya
that
Lake, yes. So
that's always when you're hot and that's always a look forward to. And then this was one that I guess we did separately, but again there was going to be another church thing that went to Elizabeth Lake. Is that right?
yep, yeah,
And
exactly.
no one showed up. It got canceled, and I think nobody told me. So then I went up the windy, twisty, and up toward Nelson Lake and things like
Yeah,
that.
you're up near the Coxcomb.
And I was alone. But then you went with your kids, I
Yeah,
believe, and so at least we got to talk about some of those. And it's like yeah. So I don't know. It's funny. It's not really one we went on together, but it's
yeah.
kind of I guess since it was something that I was doing, by myself and just it just really sticks in my mind. And so it's like I can almost, and we've done on so many hikes, it's like I can almost virtually import you, into that experience. Um,
Well,
Boy, you took my. See, I don't even know where this is, but it was, one time you took my boys when they were out, and I can't remember where it was, but there was just this huge plain of flat granite, at a slight incline, and we just walked for forever. And they were just having so much fun. So I was
that
having
was at
so much fun.
Old Mountain Point. That was actually in Yosemite too. So that was just down from Tenaya Lake.
And,
Uh,
and then the I don't know. There was one time we just took a drive around and looked for waterfalls or something. It was really not, long hikes, and that was the first time like I said, I don't go to Yosemite myself. Never took the family just because there's so many people. So I
yeah,
actually got to see some of these things, for the first time.
yeah. I think
And
that trip was Hetch Hetchy that you had a hurt foot that we walked back to the
oh
waterfall at Hetch
yeah, I
Hetchy and
forgot. Yes,
into Minden
yes.
Valley
No,
that
that
day. That was
was.
really pretty.
Yeah, no, that was really pretty. And, I know this is all outdoorsy stuff, but any of you people who've ever played, like computer games and played Myst, there was this one place with this bridge and everything. And it was just like, this is a scene out of that game. It was just,
Yeah,
yeah, no, that was beautiful. That was amazing. And I don't know. What I remember about that one too was you would loan me something like a hat or something.
mhm.
And it fell out of wherever I put it, and you
Yeah.
weren't
I
going
had
to
to
go
go
get it.
back.
You weren't going to go get it. And I said, just go back, please. I'm going to feel so bad. And it was just like 3 minutes back, and you found it. And it was like,
Yeah,
yes. Okay.
it would take that
I
long.
would have felt so bad if I'd lost it.
Yeah,
Uh,
so Tom, he's got a little ex-military in him, and he tells all kinds of great helicopter stories and training stories. I remember going on the hike where we went up behind Silver Lake, and we were looking for the two lakes, Granite Lake and I think it's Hidden Lake back there behind Silver Lake on 88. And we got off trail. We didn't follow the trail properly, which is not uncommon for you and I. I go off trail all the time, but we got way back in this hillside. I remember, and we were walking through a soup of bushes and small trees, and you were telling helicopter stories, and we found the trail and got ourselves to Hidden Lake. I just remember that day being like, I can't believe this dude follows me around the forest, because sometimes I kind of just, you know, I know where I'm at, but I'm just kind of going, and it's really not the safest thing probably to take people that don't know what they're doing with me. So I'm like, so thankful Tom is okay with it. Stuff. Uh,
Well, no, it's okay.
but-
Like we said, we always say, "What direction is this?" And I'm always like 45 to 95 degrees off, and it's just like you always got it nailed on. So I don't know what you're talking about
is
there.
there is there a time where I've taken you off trail where you just went, "Why am I following this dude?"
No, uh,
No, okay,
it's we've never been so far out in the wilderness that it's not like, well, the road is somewhere over in that way,
that way, yeah, yeah,
so it's just like, okay, even if I'm stuck here for a night, it's we'll make it, and there's a road over there somewhere, and listen, so no, and I mean, and I'm even being kind of facetious with that. I've never had those thoughts go
okay,
through like I said, you're always so much more spatially aware of where you are
yeah.
than I. Like I said, I just said, oh, so is that, is some landmark that way over the mountains? You're like, no, it's more like, I'm like 45 to 95 degree or 90 degrees off, and it's just
Just a
like,
little bit,
okay, well, so
not
it's good.
bad at all.
But
Hey,
it just, while we were talking about
yep.
thing, I don't know what, but we just favorite things, and I don't know if you have any comments on this, but just the road trip that started out on 88, and then we went toward, was it Mountain House, and up at 26,
Oh, on
and
To
all,
Calaveras Big Trees.
yes, and
Yeah,
all back in there, and just all these little towns,
that was a fun
and
trip.
just kind of, creepy abandoned, what, like herd camps or something like
It,
that,
it was
and
a it was a strange
weird
area. I was just
noises.
talking to Tyler about that. And apparently, there was an awesome fishing lake back there. We would have kept going. We would have found some pretty cool places. But we drove some
We found some cool
backwood
places.
country.
That was, we were laughing more than anything.
That was a
I
fun day.
forgot what the name of the town was, with like the general store. That is like, how does this? There looks like there's maybe 4 people that live within
Yeah,
10 miles.
I wish I could remember the name of that too. It's really small too. I could probably find the picture, but I wouldn't be able to tell you the name of it right now. But yeah, that was a fun trip. Well, what happens? Get you just for listeners that are listening to this
Railroad
conversation is
Flat,
that
was the town named Railroad Flat because we were
it
making
might have
fun of the.
been. That might have been, yeah. So I like to just, find different routes. So part of the story is that, we're driving into Jackson, not even quite to Jackson. We were in Pioneer. I said, Tom, you want to run down and we can see the river and, follow the road. It looks like the road might go all the way to Calaveras. So we follow the back roads. He goes, yeah, let's do it. So if you've ever been back there, the road just up and down and around the corners, and there's all kinds of split offs. And I took the wrong split off at one point. We ended up 7 miles down this canyon back in this dead end road, and had to turn around. And we came back, and we were in this little town, and there's a school and a store back there. It's like, why? Apparently, that used to be one of the main routes there, but we went all the way back into behind the Moaning Caverns and back into Murphy's there on the back road. That was quite a fun trip. And your first time that time to Calaveras Big Tree State Park, right? You hadn't been there
Yeah, yeah,
before. Right? Okay,
yeah,
very cool.
and
We're doing Tom and I have a backpacking trip to Sequoia National Park coming up
mhm.
in June. It'll be my first backpack, or I guess both of our first backpacking trip in Sequoia National Park. You were there as a kid. I was there last year with my wife, and so we're going to do the Twin Lakes, Silman Pass, Ranger Lake, all the way around to Jo Pass and back around in Sequoia Kings Canyon. I guess it crosses both parks there a little bit in June. We're looking forward to that, so that should be a good trip.
Yeah, I'm
When
looking
you
forward to how you're guaranteeing there's going to be fog, like when you and Wendy went. So it's going to have that same. It's just so neat how Charlie can, guarantee these things,
no, yeah, exactly.
for his friend.
So Tom likes to make things up. My wife and I were in Sequoia
No,
last year, and
me
yeah,
make things up.
Tom and I showed Tom, my wife and I were there last June, and we did actually we're in Sequoia on a day that the cloud had just sat on the mountain, so everything was in a fog, and like Morro Rock, you couldn't see 4 feet in front of your face. So it was quite a different experience. And so
Beautiful
Tom's
photos.
hoping that
Beautiful
June
photos.
this year we'll do that again. We'll see.
Beautiful photos.
Uh,
Well, yeah, but then, if it actually happens, then it's hot and humid while you're hiking, right? So it makes these beautiful photos, but possibly miserable to live through. So
yeah, which I know is your favorite thing to do. So let's see, Tom. Any stories about us you want to share? We're about running out of time here. I got a couple questions that I always ask guests. Anything that you're
Well,
thinking
no,
of
I
to share
guess I
with
would just, as watchers come, you gotta encourage that there are forms. Sierra Rec merch shop, because I know that there's stickers and postcards. There could be, um,
Tom's
mugs.
wearing a one of a kind
There's
shirt right now.
fantastic Sierra Rec, T-shirts that you could get. You could prompt Charlie to get, uh, uh, you know,
It's one of a kind, Tom, just like
ethically
you.
sourced, coffee, fair trade coffee, Sierra Rec coffee. Yeah,
That we
we
should
got to get
do.
we got to get the get the that you could, yeah, and you could make a commercial, putting it on the jet boil, and when I go out hiking, I
You can
only
knock
get.
it out right now. But Tom likes to make fun of the fact that I do this stuff for a life.
That is not me. I'm sorry. It is not meant to be making fun.
I know.
That was not meant for fun. I'm
I
sorry if
know.
it came
You're
across
good.
that way. It
No,
was.
I just kidding, bud. Tom's got the one and only Sierra Rec shirt. I don't even have one for myself. Actually, I do have one. I didn't wear it today. Tom made me one with my old logo on it, and I should have put it on today, but I blew it. I blew it. So I did. All right, Tom. I asked my guests 3 questions. They're always the same 3 questions, but it'd be fun to see what your answers are. I bet you. I want to know if I actually know your answers. So this will be kind of interesting. So let's assume your bags are packed already. Okay, and you're going on a trip, probably with me. I know, but where do you hope we're going, or where are you wishing we're going to go an outdoor adventure this year?
It's so hard because I could pick places, and then you pick, then you pick something else, and it's a new place, and it's fantastic. Boy, I'm sorry. This is dead time. This is not what you want. Um,
Okay.
like you said, Lundy's always fun. You say that I
Right.
get you for, Yosemite, but you're always so excited, and it's so fun to see you excited about going there. Um, to tell you the truth, there's so many beautiful places, and it's more fun
That's
just
fine.
joking around with you. And I don't know. I guess you see that as making fun of you, but I
I,
mean,
I
it's just that's part of the best thing is just the camaraderie, to go
yeah,
out, and so if anyone's going out, go out with a buddy, because I
100%.
often, not so much lately, but used to go out, kind of on my own, and that was kind of fun. But it's just so much more fun to share, the experiences. And
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I'm sorry, to be honest, there have been so many fun places, and it's mostly just the memories that get made that we talk about later, rather than anything. Oh, that was so beautiful. It's like, yes,
Cool.
that was very beautiful,
That's
but
awesome.
it's more, just the stuff we get to talk about later, even the good stuff, and the incredibly crazy bad stuff.
Both
That
good things.
what is it? Misery plus time equals comedy, or something like that.
Exactly.
That.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm
All
sorry.
right. So now let's talk about meals now. Okay. So your favorite meal that you've had when you're out in the wilderness, or your favorite trail snack that's always in your bag.
I was bringing like, oh, it's always fun, late summer when like raspberries are coming out, or
Mm.
blackberries, peaches, bringing those things from the yard. Favorite meal. Um, it's so fun. I'm just not the connoisseur. You're asking me all these questions. I have boring answers. It's more
I,
fun. It's more fun to see you bring out your traditional peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it's just like, okay, this isn't a dream. We're still on Earth. This is, this is.
peanut butter and jelly is the trail
Yeah, no,
food
I'm
of
just,
choice,
I'm
man.
just okay. An apple and a couple of power bars, and off we go. And um,
That works.
and like, I guess the favorite thing that I like about meals is when we go out. I'm just, do day hikes and things, but like these big planning for, going and back. And it's just, you've thought all this out, and it's just like, I'm happy I'm eating this meal, and it's like, okay, I'm not going hungry like I would have if it had been left up to me. So there's that. So, um, y-
That works. Yeah,
yeah, I'm sorry. These are boring
I was gonna
answers.
say berry milkshake and Walker Burger. That's your favorite.
Oh,
That's
I
afterwards.
thought you said in the wilderness on the
I did
trail.
probably say that. You're probably correct. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, yeah. Then favorite thing. Okay. That's easy then. All right. So
I
we've
gotcha.
we've gone down south. I get my chicken and pineapple sandwich at Monocone, and then a blackberry raspberry shake at Walker Burger. I didn't know that
There
was
you
an
go.
option. Oh, that's
That's an
easy.
option. Always an option. All
I'm
right,
sorry. That was
last
easy.
question, and this one's gonna be kind of funny because I've taken you some serious places, and we've had some gear malfunctions in life. Is there a piece of gear in your Jansport backpack that you carry everywhere that always goes with you?
Uh, yeah, there's a little shovel in case, and probably shouldn't say this because
That
there's
works.
sometimes
Shovel works. We all understand what a shovel's for.
some flora that might be interesting to grow at home. So I always carry that with me, and then Charlie always has his gear, right? So it's like, oh well, I get to evaluate, this thing, I get to, and for me, my water bottle is always my, you know, simple limeade, bottle that, I got from, drinking a thing of simple limeade, 4 years ago, and now that's my, well, and Charlie, he always has a thing and the tube, that comes over, and and I always just have this, this big,
You
take it
you
back, like a
are
big clunky bottle, and, okay, got to put this back in. So,
you are the ultimate recycler. That's for certain. You definitely are. Nothing goes to waste in your house. It's like
so that water bottle, and I always have my little trowel.
that's awesome. Okay, very good. Well, that is it for our show. You made it through it, buddy. You were so worried. You did
Woohoo!
such a great job. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new to our channel, you enjoy this kind of content. We've got more interviews coming up with more people from the Sierra. Maybe some more friends and family who've gone out with me will get to join me too. I think they're fun for our anniversary year. We do appreciate you being Sierra Reg Magazine, and like and subscribe to the channel, or on Spotify. You want to be a scripter, but send me some comments, give us some feedback on what you like, don't like. Maybe you're not a fan of Walker Burger, maybe you're a big fan of, but yeah,
T-shirts.
don't order t-shirts. I don't have any more. And or let me know you need t-shirts and I can do that too. But Tom, thank you very much. Thank you everyone who's listening. I hope the Sierra is within your view today, even though it's covered in clouds and snow is here. Wherever you're listening today, we do appreciate it. We do appreciate everything you do to encourage us to bring in more Sierra. So, Tom, have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay,
Thank
bud?
you for all the fun trips.
Absolutely, bud.